down. So you can cut out all that. Turn that off. Oh, hello, welcome along today.
G'day, dolls. Thanks.
What's your
Good to
name
be
again,
here.
sweetheart?
Kerry O'Brien.
Oh, I like the way you said that. It was really deep, wasn't it? Hey? That's like your radio voice.
That's funny. Maybe the radio voice kicked in immediately.
Something
yes.
kicked in. Maybe it was the coffee too.
That's got to be helping, that's for sure.
There you go. And so what are we talking about today, Kerry O'Brien? Any idea?
Well, I was interested to hear about this whole psychic thing and the ghost trail, ghost busting.
Well, you did come along to one, didn't you, darling, the other night?
I did indeed, yes.
And I think there was a few tears, wasn't there? Tissues and tears.
There were. I mean, I went in sort of open-minded but a little bit sceptical, not quite sure what to expect.
Yes.
And I reckon blown away would describe my reaction. It was pretty full on.
Right. And why is that? Because we went upstairs, didn't we? We had the little ghost hunt downstairs at the museum, and then we went upstairs. It was like a little Victorian, what would you call that, sweetie? It's an old bluestone
salon
building. Salon.
Well, the room itself was very sort of intimate and quite beautiful and dimly lit, and there was a big table and
candles. Like a Ouija board kind of a feel, wasn't it, darling?
Thank God no Ouija board.
Nobody was levitating either.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah. Maybe I should put that in as part of the show, a bit of levitation as well.
If you could pull it off.
So I levitated in my dream the other night, but I'll see if I can pull it off at the museum.
We might need to hear a bit more about that.
We'll come out behind the curtains and go, boo.
Do that after the ghost busting, and people might well be very spooked. They'll be like,
so.
Who's this?
Who's this? So you went upstairs and you were thinking, well, who is this charlatan?
Yeah, well, not quite that extreme, but just like, I don't know what this is. I don't know. I'm open to stuff, but I'm not quite sure because how the heck does that happen? What's it all about?
Yes.
But there were a few people getting some readings before me, and I was a bit tentative.
And complete strangers too, don't
you?
You didn't know them from a barrister. So
no.
All these people are a little bit kind of, well, it was probably like going to a nudist beach.
You are laid bare. Thankfully for all involved, not physically, but you are. I mean, I think that was part of my trepidation because... And no doubt everyone else there, it's like it's pretty intimate stuff, potentially, if the psychic does see anything relevant, and she sure did,
Yes. Well, she generally has a whole line of, a bit of a Congo line of spirits behind her.
Right.
Wanting to share or you connect with the people in the room. Yes, so you had a couple, but anyway, well, that's fine. So we don't really want to touch on that, do we, darling? Because that's all fine. But that was lovely, wasn't it?
Excellent. Lovely to be here. And it was an amazing night. Suffice to say, come and check it out yourselves because it's amazing.
Possibly the only thing that's lacking is food, darling. Do you think?
Well...
A bit of a nibble? Because you're a foodie. That's what I'm saying.
I had just eaten. Made sure to cover off that base, so that was all good. But potentially, I mean, glass of bubbles at the door, maybe.
Wouldn't go astray. Well, apparently that does open up the old chakras anyway.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Yep.
So the more little tipsy whipsy, then the more chance you have of seeing one or two of things.
That's it. The spirits might have a bit of a fun, more,
more of a good time with you anyway, won't they?
Time as well.
Was that something that touched me, or was that myself? I don't know. Yes.
Good.
So, okay. So, what else do you want to talk about today, Kez?
I was looking at your beautiful, are they Technikovs?
Darling, we can't talk about paintings, darling, because it's a radio thing, isn't it, darling?
Okay.
People can't see them.
No, that's true.
All right,
I was actually looking at the collection, but moving on.
Something that you can paint a picture of would be lovely.
Well, that's not a bad idea.
A lovely experience that you had elsewhere. So you had a nice experience up at the museum. Any other nice experiences or kooky situations that you want to talk about?
I'm trying to think. The one that comes to mind may be best not spoken about. The fairly kooky service at the restaurant the other night, but that may not be good.
Oh, no, I think there's a whole podcast in crap service, isn't it?
I do.
What
It's
is
not
with
that
that?
hard to be, welcoming and warm and kind of...
Oh, excuse me, hospitable?
Exactly. The name sort of gives it away.
It does, doesn't
Yes.
it? Oh, what a part of hospitality do you not get?
That's right. After years and with all the, big name in bright lights, it's very surprising.
I think they kind of concentrate on, okay, we've got good food. Okay, we've got good wine. Job done.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, most of the times they go, okay, we've got a menu. Okay, we've got drinks. Job done.
Yes.
We can't get any staff. Oh, well, maybe if you put a smile on your face, maybe you could keep staff.
So there were two basic observations. One was that exactly that.
Yeah.
Have a smile, just say good day, come on down.
Welcome.
Great to have you here.
Yes.
But the other was a bit of atmosphere, a bit of music goes a long way. It can be quite, I don't care what it is except
And
for
not
probably...
your Bob Dylan playlist either.
No, I was going to say, when I say I don't care, I do care.
We do care. We do care.
No, nothing too heavy, but not middle of the
70s
road.
hard rock. Yeah.
Yeah,
We
no,
don't want.
that's not good.
Living on a prayer when we first enter, we don't want.
Maybe at dessert.
Maybe when
maybe
it's,
not.
I don't know. A bit of Sheena East and Cracky always says on the way out, never hurts, clears a room magically. But on the way in, you're not, a little bit of a welcoming dulcet tones or something.
Definitely. I mean, it just sets, because we walked into silence and it was weird. That is not what one expects at a restaurant and it's not how it should be. You want to hear a bit of, and so even if there is silence, the music just covers it. So no one, it's setting a scene, isn't it? Like you want to be sort of cushioned all the way through and kind of.
Well, you do pay, don't you, money, I believe.
That's right.
And generally a lot of money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so what part of that don't they get? I don't understand. You've been into a lot of restaurants, haven't you, sweet?
I have.
Purely by your work.
Thankfully, yes. It is often funded through my work
Yes.
and I love it. But there are lots of issues with hospitality at the moment. One of them is noise, at the risk of sounding like a grumpy old woman.
Right.
How many
you are of
restaurants-
that age, Kerry.
I am that woman. But how
and
many
you do
do you
have
go
that
into?
kind of, even your name suggests over 50. Oh, that's rude, isn't it?
That is
Am
rude.
I being a bit of a
my
Karen?
God.
Am I being a bit of a Karen?
That's funny. It's
Maybe
such a
I am,
classic
just
70s
quietly.
name, Kerry. There were 4 Kerrys in my grade prep. There were 4 Kerrys and I hated it as a result.
Let's call you Kez and move on.
Kez is good.
So, Kez, what were you saying, darling?
Oh,
before
just
I
noise in
interrupted you?
restaurants.
Yeah.
A lot of people talk to me about that. And
What do you mean noise from the floors, noise from people talking?
Noise everywhere
Noise
and
everywhere.
nothing to cushion it. And that's
Okay.
the way
No
restaurants
good
are fitted
acoustics.
out at the moment.
So the cement floors.
Yeah.
Let's go for something that we can just mop.
Yep. Apparently it's she, but it does avoid the need to vacuum.
I think it's possibly more practical.
Yeah.
We don't want smelly carpet, do we, at the end of the
No,
night, darling? But
no.
smelly carpet's good because it absorbs the smells
the sounds.
and the sounds.
And yes, if the smells are okay, you can absorb those too. That's fine.
Yeah.
But
so you mean so much noise you can't have a conversation?
absolutely. And
Yeah.
there has been debate
Yeah,
at
what?
work about including a soundometer or there's a star rating, include some sort of sound thing.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Which I actually think is a great
Well,
idea.
I think that's possibly coming from you, but you might be pushing that little pen onto the petition. And why not? It is annoying, isn't it?
Well,
Or being so close to a table that you hear everything they say or don't say.
yes. Oh my
More to
God,
the
so many
point.
boring conversations.
Oh.
Like, dude,
Oh,
I
look at
don't care.
Look at your phone a bit more.
That's, well, yeah. Not so
know?
good for your date, but much better for us to be able to
Yes.
have a conversation
Yes,
next to you.
so too much noise, not enough space in between.
Yes,
Yeah, pet hates,
yes,
is it?
definitely. And grumpy wait staff. I mean, as we were talking about
Another
earlier.
pet thing.
So annoying.
So even though you're doing a review on the restaurant, you still get the grumpy ass waiters.
So, no. Actually,
Oh, do
there
they
is
turn a
that.
smile on, do they?
There is that, yes. I tend not to get bad service when I'm working,
Right.
which is unfortunate because you know, when I was doing restaurant reviews, you had to always check out what the other, you know, if they'd clocked you as a reviewer, you had to always check out what other patrons were being treated like, and it's very hard to make an assessment.
Yeah.
But when I just eat out, you know, just as myself without any attachment to work, I reckon you do get grumpy. It's you're not doing me a favour taking my order, mate. No. I just need to do that. It's a transaction, a process.
We can do a QR code, actually, and we don't need you at all.
Well, maybe that will stick. Maybe that will stick. And all those little, do you remember those? They were big for a while, like the iPad where you kind of just put your order in. Asians mad for Asian restaurants.
Yeah, at your little swipey screen at the table. Do you mean? Is that what you mean? Yeah. Or you pop it on a little note and then they pick it up from the glass.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds interesting.
Just pop down. Or you just tick what you want, and then they grab it. Like a sushi train style. And then they just grab it out of the glass, and then we don't have to speak at all to you.
That's right. But we could be getting a lot of people out of work with this sort of stuff. Like if it sticks,
possibly a lot of people need to be out of work. Just saying.
I can think of one that I met on Friday night. It's like, dude, get out of that restaurant.
The owners.
Well, we shouldn't go too far down that path.
I do have a hospitality background, sweetheart. And I did know where after 20 years in hospitality or thereabouts, when I was throwing the cutlery to the customers and I was pushing the coffee along the table and I wasn't smiling at any of them, I thought, you know what, maybe it's time you moved on, mate. I did have that little chat to myself.
Yes.
And I actually listened to myself.
Very important.
Yes. And I thought I cannot serve another customer
That's right.
for the rest of my life. I cannot look at them.
That's it.
I don't want to pick up their dirty plate.
No.
I don't want to hear their inane conversation on the boring day they're having.
Yes.
I don't care. I'm only smiling because I want a tip.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes.
But, no.
And, throwing those knives, someone could have ended up without a finger.
Well, it was bread knives. It was bread knives. It was all good. It was bread knives.
But you've got to heed that. You've got to heed that. If you're that over it, get the goddamn hell out.
And I think a lot of them go, oh, well, they've been a waiter all their life. And they go, oh, well, I'll just buy a restaurant.
Oh, God. Never a good idea.
And I'll hock my box and I'll put all my coins into this, rundown dump, and I'll inflict my hideous taste with the furniture and the dolphin prints or whatever. And then I'll put my grumpy ass face on and we'll make money. Do you reckon?
Look,
do you reckon that's the kind of how it evolves?
I think there is a bit of that. And I would say to anyone thinking about hospitality as an easy business,
I think we've got a new podcast
deluded.
talking about this.
I think so.
I think, you know what we should do? We should get readers to write in their worst experience at restaurants, right?
Yes.
We read it out and then we dissect it.
Good plan.
Job done.
Excellent.
Who hasn't had a bad experience? Or even a bad hospitality experience, tourism experience?
Yes, more generally.
Any kind of worst experience.
And who doesn't like to have a grump, let's face it? A bit of a rant. You need to get it out. Better out than in, all of that sort of stuff.
And we could just call it, I can't get good staff. That's what we could call the podcast.
Yes, that's the mantra of the moment, isn't it?
It is very much so with the way the borders are closed and things like that. Well, actually, you should have gone down. Your business should not have been kept afloat. So really, any kind of shop, any kind of restaurant, any kind of pub.
Yep.
Oh, my God, there's so many. I can't tell you how many bad pubs I've been into over the years. So I think we could get a podcast doing that.
I think you're onto something. All right. Or it could be grumpy old, I was going to say women, but men are welcome too.
Yes,
Grump farm or, I don't know.
Just grumpy people in general that you come across. Call it the grump.
It's a forum for the grumps.
Oh, a forum for the grumps.
Yeah, for us to have
Grumpy
our
forum.
Whinge fest.
Whinge fest.
Except that could be very draining reading all those letters. I'm not really up for that.
Yeah,
let's keep it to food and hospitality.
I think bad experience.
I think that's good.
Bad experience. You know, your TripAdvisor kind of 1 star.
A verbal trip.
Verbal TripAdvisor.
How sexy is that?
You know,
You never know. There's something.
Verbal TripAdvisor. If you've got a problem with a particular service, let us know. We'll dissect it, and then we'll let you know if it's you or if it's a service.
Okay.
What do you think?
Yep.
I think
Like a Judge Judy.
I think that's a Judge Judy TripAdvisor. Because so many people will have to give their feedback, don't they?
Absolutely.
And so,
mad for it.
you know, I think we should judge those feedbacks.
Okay.
Don't you think, Dave?
Oh, I think it's great.
Because they really get away with putting their feedback up there, don't they? And they have no judges on that.
Well, that's true, and that actually is a big
run
issue.
rampant.
That is a big issue for a lot of small businesses,
You know?
particularly one grumpy bastard out of 100, and your business is in real strife.
I mean, I had like a 1-star review, and the review was didn't come. I mean, as to the event, you know what I mean? And I thought, why would you put that on?
Exactly.
I mean,
it wasn't like you didn't go. You were there doing your thing.
Didn't come, 1 star. I went,
That's got to be null and void. That surely doesn't count.
Thank you so much for reducing
A-hole,
my...
that's not good.
Yeah, and I couldn't help myself. I go, why would you do that? And then I blocked him and deleted him.
Yeah.
Idiot.
Well, we should encourage people to give a little bit of a Google review to the Kyneton Paranormal experience.
Oh, do we have to? I think we've opened up the spiritual can of worms. I don't think we should open up any other kind of grumpy Kez/Karen can of worms. Had an awful time. Wasn't spooked.
No ghosts within cooey
No
of
spook.
me.
No ghost.
Oh,
One star.
One star didn't come. I'm going to keep laughing about it. People just need to
because
be heard,
there was a Karen that came on that night that you came, and she just threw up her arms because she wasn't getting the reading, possibly because nobody wants to speak to her that's living or dead. And threw up her arms and walked off. And so I think she would definitely give a 1 star.
Yes.
You got to be careful.
I think you're right. No feedback form required.
Well, people that give reviews are wrong anyway, don't you reckon?
What is it?
I
Our
don't
obsession
have time
with
to
the
give a
reviews?
review.
No, exactly. I
know?
think it's a weird, fairly recent development. It's only the last decade or so, and
Well,
everyone,
creating the online trolling kind of bully
yes,
thing, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Like, you've got an opinion on my service and you haven't been. Well.
That's the first time I've heard of anyone ever doing it, taking it to that extreme. But really, what goes through your head thinking, oh, well, clearly I'm justified in making any comment here? Oh, my
I'm
goodness.
struggling. I really don't like her. I get the feeling that I don't like her. I'm looking at that face and I don't like her. Okay, don't like her.
And I'll let the world know. Because that matters. That really matters, this ridiculous idea.
Well, their pathetic voice matters, doesn't it? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So we've got the reviewing part of things, and then we've got the really bad service part of things. So there's possibly a bit of both that we could talk about, isn't there?
Yeah. I think it's
we could
rich
actually,
for the pickings.
Yeah, talk about people's experiences and get them to, email us with their really bad experience. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then we dissect it.
Yeah. Try and make them funny, because that would help. That would make it a little bit more easy listening.
Well, we might have to give a bit of creative license to their stories.
I think that's important. Absolutely. We
wouldn't be reading it word for word.
No.
Went into restaurant. Nowhere to sit.
Yeah.
Walk back out. Yeah. I think we'd have to give that a bit more. Well, you'd be a bit more selective, perhaps. Too.
Yeah, I think we want a bit more detail too. We want, walked in, dour-faced movie character style, older man, kind of peering at us without a whisper of a smile. Give us all the detail.
Like what you had the other night.
Not mentioning any names,
Okay,
but
all
yes,
restaurants.
quite
no.
possibly,
Yes. Okay.
yes.
So what exactly happened, darling? You walked into a restaurant.
Oh, and it was quite pretty and whatever. There was silence, which was initially like the first red flag. But then this guy appeared, and trying to think of the actor, he looked a bit like William Hurt, not William Hurt.
William in pain. William hurting all of us.
Maybe that's why that name came to mind. Who's the guy that played the Elephant Man?
Oh, goodness me.
You know that guy?
Really?
Yeah, that actor. He looked a bit like that actor.
Oh, just looked like the Elephant Man.
No, he didn't look like the Elephant Man. But there was just this
On a bad day.
very dour was the word I would use.
Dour.
Dour. Just
And you don't want dour, do you? to
you don't
greet
want
you
dour. I don't want
after
dour
a busy
anywhere near
day?
my big night out dinner with my gorgeous mates.
Yeah.
That's not what I'm looking for.
Yeah, yeah.
And 101
It's not a fish and
hospitality.
chip shop, is it?
101 hospitality might suggest
Yes.
that's not what they're after. It's not in the brief.
No. And it's supposedly a really nice restaurant that you're going that
Yeah.
you're paying big bucks for.
Yes, exactly.
With a set menu that you got no choice of, by the way.
Yes. Yes.
Weird.
It's
Weird.
That's-
Are we
yeah.
in a function room or are we in a restaurant where you go in and you get a set menu with 2 or 3 choices?
yeah, it was very. You know the
You want
funny
the
thing
fish or the
though.
pork? Chicken, fish or pork?
There were 3. So on to 2 choices on each: entree, main, and dessert.
Yeah.
But when one of the girls said, "Oh, so what's the procedure here? We order 2 of the 3," and he said, "Yes," and he said, "And we prefer if that's entree and main."
So we've got no
Was like,
desserts.
Have you sold out of the desserts, or you
Oh, we just can't be bothered.
And he didn't
The
elaborate.
creme caramels haven't set. So
just
if you
didn't-
wouldn't mind.
Oh, the cheese is too expensive.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, we got some ice cream. We fancy that up with a bit of a topping.
But I couldn't believe he didn't say anything more. Like usually you'd say, "Oh, because I don't know, the fridge is
the
broken
fridge is
down,"
broken down, or the fridge is running out
he
the door.
just left it at
Can't
that.
find
It's
it.
like, okay,
Okay, mate.
yeah,
Thank
right.
you. Oh, so how about we have the entree and the main then? What a good idea.
Exactly. Now I'm wishing we'd asked for the dessert and just
It's
see
like,
what.
yeah, we walked into this restaurant on Wednesday night, country town, nobody else there, and we were hurried to a table. Like we couldn't actually go to another section, and it was immediately. Well, I'm going to sit you over here because I can't obviously be around the whole place by myself.
Oh.
And we were the only 2 there. And so if you could just sit here, please. And then actually, it wasn't even please. You sit here, and then I'll bring the menus over. And I said, well, we haven't been here before. Can we have a look around or
Yeah.
something?
That's right. What's the rush?
No, just sit down there, and then I'll
Oh.
be with you in a moment because in a couple of minutes' time I'm going to be very busy. Well, she had one more table walk in.
That's 100% growth in.
And then, and I can't get good staff. It's like, well, we know why you can't get good staff because you're an idiot.
You know what my other pet hate is? You walk into a restaurant and you can see clearly there's about 5 free tables.
Yeah.
And they say, "Hi, how many people?" You say 3, and they go, "I'll be with you in a minute." It's like, why don't you just say there's a table right there?
Yeah.
I mean, check the list, sure, if you've got a big reservation list,
Yes.
but don't leave me hanging here
No.
where there's all
No.
these tables and
That's right. And I'll just look at myself, actually, or I'll look at my phone, or I'll just amuse myself. Don't sit me down with a glass of water and make me feel comfortable
that's
in
right.
your establishment.
That's right. Leave me dagging around the front door in the wind.
loitering,
Yeah.
feeling like a bit of an old plastic bag that's just flown in.
Do you think that it's COVID related, that
No.
rushing you to a table? No.
No.
Manic behaviour?
No, they just want to get you in and get you out.
Oh, well, that's not that's not good either in hospitality land.
No, they're just not hospitable. They just shouldn't be working there, darling. It's like me being a doctor. Well, I just shouldn't be a doctor because I haven't done any training.
Yes.
You
Well,
know?
yes, that could
So
be
there's,
quite problematic.
I know anyone can do hospitality, but actually they can't.
That's not true. Yeah.
It's not true, is it, darling? Because they're
It's-
not hospitable.
It is an art. It is an art. And that's a particularly Australian thing too, because service is
Yes.
more of a career path
Yes.
overseas in some countries
It is,
anyway.
yeah.
We don't have a culture of that.
We don't have that culture at Or
No,
we have a fish
no.
and chip culture, dim sim culture. Would you like a Chico roll with your chips?
Yes,
Culture.
yes.
Don't we, darling?
Yeah.
And I think someone said, oh, well, and complaining about how we don't spend any money in our rural area. And someone said, well, why don't we just fix our service first? And then maybe we will spend more money.
That's right. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I think we're doing that now anyway.
It's a good note on which to finish.
All right, okay, darling. I think we've covered a lot of experiences
Definitely.
and perhaps the makings of a new pod show.
I think that's fantastic.
What are we
And,
calling it? Grump Fest?
No, we've got to steer clear of that. It's got to be, what do we think? Service. We will
TripAdvisor 1 star.
we will service you. I don't know. There's got to be something in that. The serve.
The serve.
Maybe.
Oh, maybe.
I don't think
You're
I
the
love
writer,
it, but-
darling. You're the writer.
Clearly at the top of my game on a Sunday morning.
Time
but,
for another coffee.
We'll come back to you. We'll come
On
back
the
to you
name of the
with it.
show, but definitely your biggest gripe in whatever kind of area or hospitality or tourism or shop. Yeah,
Yep.
your worst experience.
Yeah, Gripe Town. That could be good.
All right then. Bye-bye now.
Thanks, folks. Bye.